You need to be self-aware. Know yourself. Many of us don't even know ourselves. We don't know our strength. We don't know our weakness. But this video is going to help you to be self-aware, and it's going to help you to understand how the brain works. So stick here. Don't go anywhere. Hello beautiful people, it's so good to see you here once again. Thank you for always being here. My name is Tamuno Abraham. If you're stumbling on this channel for the first time, you are welcome. I celebrate you. I would like to meet you. Please subscribe to this channel, like, watch videos, engage with my content. There are lots of valuable content for you to watch. Drop a comment. Thank you. So guys, today we're going to continue the series on the mind. In this video, more like a commentary. You know what, I told you guys the last time that I saw a content that I would love you guys to see. I must not consume it alone. I want you to be informed too, so that you can live a better life. I'll be sharing the content today. Permit me, I'll be taking my eyes off the camera time to time, so stay tuned and listen. It's something you would learn from, because it's always good to be self-aware. How would you know you are sick when you don't even know the symptoms? This particular comment is by Faisal Hourani. He answered the question, how does the brain work? So I'm giving credit to the owner, Faisal Hourani. And he said, understanding the brain is key to living a good life. Once you know how you and other people operate, you're better equipped to deal with life. This is going to be a long read. Grab your favorite beverage and sit comfortably. He said, now let's imagine our brain as a car. This car has 4 drivers. Only one driver can drive at a time, while others can influence the driving. At any point, any of the 4 drivers can pick up the steering wheel and start driving the car. Picture it all. So now meet the 4 drivers. We have number 1 driver, survival. We have number 2 driver, the trust. We have number 3 driver, motivation. And we have number 4 driver, imagination. Number 1 driver, the survivor. Your survivor driver is responsible for 3 key tasks. Number 1 is fight. Number 2 is flight. Number 3 is freeze. I'll say it again. Fight, flight, freeze. He said, survival driver is activated in life-threatening situation, e.g., car about to eat you. For example, it's me adding my Honda. A car is about to eat you. You freeze. You be afraid. And in modern times, stress can activate it. Then what we have is number 1, fight. Fight is the aggressiveness. You notice people that they are so reactive, they're so aggressive. That's the fight. The flight is anxiety. Number 3, freeze, is the helplessness. A car is about to eat you, you just freeze. You're helpless. What does this mean? When you see someone who gets angry easily or anxious or feeling down, their survival brain is now driving them. If you get angry, if you feel down, you feel depressed, you feel anxious, your survival brain. Please take notes. Make sure you're taking notes. This is not to condemn you. This is to make you to be self-aware, to know yourself and know the kind of medicine that you will use to treat yourself, to know how you will treat yourself. Because it is when you know that you're sick, you'll be able to go to the doctor. But when you don't know you're sick, how will you treat yourself? Many people don't know themselves. They don't even understand who they are. So please take notes. There is no use trying to reason with people being driven by their survival brain. Also, when you notice that somebody is operating with their survival brain, there's no point trying to reason with people like that. Everything is a threat to them at that point. So we need to bring the person out of survival. And how do you do that? Number 1, if the person is aggressive, go with the flow while remaining calm. A soft answer turneth away wrath. It's the Bible that says it. When you see somebody is aggressive, just understand that he's not the person. Stay calm with them. Number 2, if anxious, offer options. They're so anxious. Offer options. Number 3, if helpless, give support. When you notice that somebody feels helpless, give support. Your survival driver usually needs to go through logic before activating. But if it gets activated often, for example, constant stress from work, then it is constantly active. At this point, the person affected will easily get aggressive, anxious, helpless without a real threat. The solution to this is to calm down your survival driver by constant meditation and being in a soothing environment. Do not use drugs to calm yourself down, as that will only make things worse in the long run. Some people, any little headache, the first thing they do is take paracetamol, take Panadol, take any pain reliever, which is not supposed to do. Because once you keep doing that, your body will master it, that even when you take it, it won't work. You need to understand what is causing this constant headache. The next driver is trust. Your trust driver is interesting because it defines your position within a social group and works on two main areas with 4 axes. Now you can see the axes. The 2 areas are self-confidence and trust in others. Self-confidence, when you totally believe in yourself, when you trust in yourself, and number 2 is trust in others. You can see the graph. You can see the axis. The y-axis has marginal, assertive, agility, while the x-axis has dominant, assertive, submissiveness. You want to be in the center, that is assertive, confident, and not worried about your action. We usually shift around the graph depending on where we are and who we are with. Each axis has 5 levels or stages we go through, 1 being the first and least hurtful stage, and 5 being the last and worst. The level 1 to 3 are treatable by yourself or with close friends and family. If you reach level 4 to 5, then it is recommended you seek professional help. When you have too much self-confidence, you become dominant, and it goes through the following stages. Number 1 is flattery and seduction. Number 2 is manipulation. Number 3 is mockery. Number 4 is intimidation. And number 5 is sadism and cruelty. When things go well for the dominant, they believe it's their doing. They so much have confidence in their strength, in themselves, that, oh, when things are working fine, it is their doing. When things go wrong, it is someone else's fault. I know people like that. In fact, I have somebody close to me like that. They have never for one accepted that it's their own fault. They're always saying to another person, even when they are the one at fault, they just don't want to accept it. If you're like that, please let us be writing those things down so that we'll know what to work on. When things go wrong, it is someone else's fault. If you know anyone that acts super charming and nice to people, why they use them as a utility to obtain what they want, they have reached the top of dominance and need help. There are some people that they are so patient, so humble, so nice, just to get something from you. And once they're able to get that thing, I think this is common with men, I don't know, but they are so kind, so patient. That's the spirit of dominance. Evil dominance, yeah. When you have too little self-confidence, you become submissive, and it goes through the following stages. Number 1 is perfectionism and tendency to want to believe people too easily. Number 2 is excessive willingness to serve or please others. Number 3 is fear of breaking the rules. 4 is panic attacks and guilt. While number 5 is hurting yourself and suicide. The reason why you feel suicidal is because you feel less confident of yourself. You feel you amount to nothing. You feel you are nothing. You feel you don't have self-worth. And that is why many people go into depression, go into suicide, and a lot of that negative emotion. We will talk about going left or right in the trust in other axes. If you have too much trust in others, you reach anxiety, and it goes through the following stages. Number 1, you are okay with sharing information with others and strangers. You see hidden meanings. You communicate without words. You communicate with things. You become gullible. Have you ever seen ladies who are so gullible? They just losing themselves. Why? Because they have too much trust in others. In the extreme case, the person gets used by people regularly and needs help. When you notice you have this, it's a sign that you need help. If you have too little trust in others, you reach the marginality, and it goes through the following stages. Number 1 is uneasiness at sharing. You don't share things. Loss of contact, loss of connection, sense of exclusion, conspiracy. You believe people are plotting against you. Do you know there's some certain people that just believe that everybody that comes around, they want to harm them? It's a sign of having little trust in others. You look everywhere, you look everything, you believe they are stealing your thing. It's a sign, it's something that you need to work on. You are so guided, you believe you are the one protecting yourself. Extreme case, this turns into paranoia, and the person needs help. Some things to note about the trust driver. It takes a lot of time to grow. You cannot get more confident easily. While you can easily lose your confidence and trust when you have a traumatic event. When active, we can see territorial or power plays, and the person does not question their own behavior, so never learns. They need guidance. The good part, it only lasts for a short time. Each time it is activated. So if someone is acting intimidating, give them a bit of time and firm resistance, and they will back off on their own. Third driver, motivation. Your motivation driver stirs your deepest motivation and raw emotion, as well as your memory, the good, the bad, the ugly. Most of the time, motivation driver is what is driving you around by running an autopilot, by recognizing situations that you have been in and uses the standard operating procedure you teach it. Your motivation driver knows everything you have ever learned. The driver is super efficient because it uses the minimum attention span to carry out tasks, allowing us to do more than two things at once. It is a motivation driver that makes you to multitask. For example, when you're driving a car and talking to your friend passenger at the same time, your motivation driver is in control. This driver has 3 layers of motivation. Number 1, intrinsic. This is your fixed motivation that will never change and is partially formed by genetic and partly by your environment as a baby. This is why some things you do gives you energy and makes you happy even if you are not exactly good at it. For example, drawing, because it is an intrinsic motivation of yours. This is also why some people can get extremely good at certain things. For example, drawing, since it is an intrinsic motivation that keeps them happy and working on until they master it. Sweet spot is finding your intrinsic motivation and making a career out of it. Then you're getting paid to do what you truly love and which actually makes you happy. Motivation driver is extrinsic. This is dynamic and keeps changing depending on your environment and trend. It stores what you currently like and dislike. Everything that influences your decision and opinion is stored here. For example, why do you like certain music, food, or fashion? The interesting part is this motivation usually does not last more than 3 to 6 months. Number 3 is obsession. When things you like stay in your extrinsic long enough, they become deeply rooted in the 3rd layer and becomes obsession, and that's where habit is formed. This stores that's my own addition. This stores your passion, but also your addictions, such as being a workaholic, drug, shopaholic, and chasing stuff. You are not free to choose what you want anymore, and will go after the obsession. Now, the final driver, which is imagination. This is the marvel of evolution. It is what makes us human. Your imagination driver gives you creativity and adaptation. It should take control when dealing with new and complex situations that requires you to think out of the box. It is your imagination driver that helps you to be creative, to think out of the box. People usually don't let imagination driver take control and stick to their motivation driver instead, which leads them to lose out on big innovations. I believe that if you are now this is me talking, not Usoni's comment. I believe that if you had to actually feed yourself well in allowing positive things to be your motivation driver, it will bet your imagination driver, in the sense that your habits, what you do consistently every day, if you have the habit of reading consistently, like reading good materials consistently, there is no how that it will not affect your imagination, because you are immersed in knowledge, and the more you know, the more you become creative, knowledgeable, you become wider. So your habits, your motivation driver is key. What you allow your motivation driver to do is key. People usually don't let imagination driver take control and stick to their motivational driver instead, which leads them to lose out on big innovation. Example, Atari and HP turning down Steve Jobs' idea. You get IBM believing there is no market for PCs. But here we are today. These mistakes happened because the people in charge relied on their motivation driver, which thinks from what it already knows. If they had used their imagination driver, they can see a future that Steve Jobs saw. When your imagination driver is taking control, you feel calm and in full control. How to activate on a command? Think of yourself these questions. Why am I feeling like this? What am I basing this decision on? How can we do things differently? How can we do it better? Making yourself answer these questions in your head activates the imagination driver. When you question things, You question things. Why is this happening? Why is this? Why am I doing this? Or you just do things just the way people tell you to do it. Like, you don't even know the reason for doing stuff. You don't even know the reason why you're here. So why would I? See, you have to learn to question things. That doesn't make you inferior. Rather, it makes you knowledgeable. It makes you educated, intelligent. In conclusion, we can say that even though our brain is too complex to summarize in a Quora post, this framework gives us a better idea on how we go about our daily lives and how we can use this knowledge to live a better life. Hope this helps you as much as it helped me. I might be updating this post with more findings. Follow it if you want to keep updated all the rest. The last time I updated this post was 5 years ago. That is 2018, I guess. Yeah, 2018. The essence of this post is to let you to be self-aware. Know when your fight is driving you. Know when your flight is driving you. Know when your freeze is driving you. And the overall driver of this is your survivor. Understand, know when your survivor is driving you. Why do you get angry? Why do you get reactive? There's certain people that once they are coming like this, hey, the whole world will be trembling. As believers, it's always good to have this understanding so that we will know the scripture, what we are supposed to do to cure our disease. I have seen mine here. Look for your own and start working on it. Please know why you do certain things. Know the driver that is driving you. So when you're about to get angry, you just tell yourself that, oh, my survivor wants to take over. And then no, survivor, you're not going to take over. I want my motivation to take over. I want my imagination to take over. And your motivation, you need to be careful of the things you allow into your mind. The things you feed your eyes, the things you hear, the things you say. Be so careful about them, because those are the things that will build your motivation. Okay, I want to make this video as short as possible. So this is what I would love you to do. Play this video, get your journal, get your pen, and write down those things that you feel, those areas you feel that, okay, yes, your survivor has been controlling you, and research on ways you can improve on that. But the truth is, the Holy Spirit is there to help us of all this negativity. You see, the summary of all these things is the fruit of the Spirit. That's it. Just write them down and start working on yourself. Start working on yourself. I hope you have learned something in this video. If you have, please comment. I want to see what you learned. Just drop it in the comment section. Thank you. Hello, my name is Tamuno Abraham. I'm the founder of Intentional Life Changes. Intentional Life Changes is a community where we raise intentional world changers. People who intentionally live their lives and influence others to do the same. On this channel, I share content that motivate and inspire people to intentionally unlock the greatness in them by living out God's purpose for their lives. I'm certain God has deposited special gifts inside every one of us. However, it takes intentionality to unlock that greatness in you, especially in this distracted world. So, be intentional. I will say it again. Be intentional. See you in my next video. God bless you.